I'm 18 years old and I live in Bremerton. So the past year I was in Hungary. Múlt évben Magyarországon voltam. It's going to be kind of difficult. But this is my blazer. I actually have a lot more, but I haven't really been here for so long. I haven't added everything. And it might be kind of difficult because I forget a lot of English words, so explaining things might be difficult. Okay, so this is actually me in Budapest. I didn't live in Budapest though, and you can see the Duna runs right through the Budapest is on the left side, and the Buda is on the left side, and the Pest is on the right side. And you can see Lánchíd, which is chain bridge, and it's the first bridge in Hungary that connected both sides. It was destroyed back in the Second World War, but they had obviously rebuilt it. And this is me on the Citadella, which is a huge mountain on the Buda side with the Statue of Liberty. Okay. So, voltam Magyarországon. I was in Győr. A várom volt Győr, so my city was Győr, which you can maybe see. There's Budapest in the middle in the red, but go left, kind of towards Vienna, and you can see Győr. So I lived really close to both Slovakia and Austria, which is really nice because it's literally on the cross paths between everywhere. So when I wanted to travel, I could go to the Vienna airport or the Budapest airport because that was in the exact middle. And there are a lot of people that go everywhere because it's a really good location. As Azazlum, this was the flag. It's red, white, and green. I have it a lot all over myself. Good myself. So, első nővérem volt Flora, és apukám Misi volt. My first sister, my older sister was Flora, and my first dad was Mishi. And these two people are very important on my exchange because Mishi was my YEO and my father. So not only did I get all this stuff about YEO Rotary stuff, but I got to know everything about all the other exchange students because he was my dad. And Flora, she is really important because she had just came back from the US, so we bonded a lot, and she was my first host. First sisters were really best friends. And unfortunately, I couldn't find my family picture, but I also had a mom. Okay. Szóval tanultam RYE Miklósban, és ezek a barátom. I studied at RYE Miklós, which is a gymnasium, and these are my friends, Chenga, Rebecca, and Dori. And this is my school. It was 200 years old, and it had a new part, which is relatively 50 years old. And then this is the picture I took when we were going to a music festival in a different city, and Changa toured us around because her mom was from there. And these are my best friends. This is my class at Osztályom. We have classes, so A, B, C, D, E are all different kinds of classes that have focusing on. So my class was more focused on languages, so they took, for the freshman year, mainly all English with some German, some math, and history. And then they started more academic classes in their second year of high school. So I was in E in my class. So I wanted to compare the differences because it's quite different. And there's always school no matter what. If there's snow days, if there's snow on the ground, or if it's like -18, you go to school no matter what. So when I was in Hungary, we had different families. I had 2 because my YEO decided 2, not 3. And I would wake up at 6:15. My mom would drive us at 7:30 because my school started at 8. Or when I was at my other host family, I would actually take the village bus, which was about 15 minutes long. Or I would, if I had a late arrival when I was at 8 and I'd go to school at 10, I would also take the bus. And I had Hungarian class at 2, so I left school early most of the days because I had 4 times a week, I'm sorry. So this is the main differences in Hungary that I've acknowledged. For me, I had late arrivals on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays 1 week, and the other on Wednesday, because they have a 2-week program, so you have different classes every day for 2 weeks, and then it recycles. So instead of switching at semesters, picking your classes, you get told your classes in the beginning of the year, and you know which days you have your classes, which is really confusing at first, So I could never remember which days I had which classes, because we had 10 classes total and different classes every single day. If that makes sense. It's confusing. So again, we had the weekly schedule. Most schools had a whole week. They would have the different days, different classes on different days, and then the repeat, but I had the 2-week schedule. And then 45-minute classes, so 15-minute breaks in between where you could eat or you could go out of your class. And most people stayed in one classroom for the entire day, and the teachers moved. Every year, it starts at September 1st to June 15th, every single year. No matter if there's snow or anything, you have to go to school. Of course, there isn't any buses that take you to school, so you have to go by bus, city bus, I mean. And I had half of my class actually went by train because my school was quite good. So a lot of people applied for the school in my city from far, far away. So they would take 40-minute bus trains or an hour bus, or they would stay in the hostel because it would be just so hard to travel so long. And then there was lunch was never incorporated, so you'd have to go to lunch afterwards, and it was pretty much like a restaurant where you'd go, sit down, you'd give them a ticket, and they'd give you food. You had no choice of what you ate, so you either liked it or you didn't. So Hungarian school is very, very different. So everyone told me, it's like, yeah, what's school like in the US? And just like, we always imagine people like dancing on the tables, blah, blah, blah. Like, no. That's not at all. When I came here, I feel like you guys are dancing on the tables. Because this is the last day of school, and he was just, I don't know what he was doing, but he was having an umbrella in the classroom. Or we had campaign where in the 11th class, they all compete to figure out who's the better one. It's just a fun thing where you have parties in your room in between classes and after classes. It can go up to like 6. And then there's performances outside, or they always have like drinks that they provide, not alcoholic, just normal drinks. And they have t-shirts that they give, and this was what it looks like. This is I think this is like the 3rd break, I think, or 2nd break, so it's around like 10 a.m. And that's what they're doing. They're just having a party in the class. And there's almost never any tables or seats in the classroom, so if you move to that seat, you just kind of have to sit. If you move to that classroom for your class, then you just kind of have to sit on the floor because they moved everything. And you know, they do fun stuff. This is supposed to be, this is Hungarian, I'm your father. So. Yeah. And also my school was right next to a prison. So I always freaked out about that because I was like, I don't know how this is, who planned the city out to make like 2 schools right next to the prison? Literally the prison's in the middle of the city, and there's about 5 or 4 schools on the same street with the prison, but my school is right next to the prison. So I had to get used to that. Oh yeah, so Rotary here was really, really good. I appreciated it. I love my Rotary so much. So the volunteer that we did was the Fröchnapot. So for days that we would go out to the city center and that we would provide drinks and some biscuits, and then they would pay for it. And we also volunteered at the homeless shelter where we made goulash, and we bought it and we served them. And the Rotary Ball. Okay, so the Rotary Ball is where the Rotarians all got together with their family and they donated for, it was an auction, and there were tickets and a raffle, and you paid for pictures, and it's a really good way to get revenue, and then we'd work on projects, because with that money then we we made a statue for the city center, which we also have in Budapest, where we also made, but it's for blind people because they have Braille, and so you can see the city center. It's really cool. And for the club trips, my club actually made a lot of trips. In, I believe, April, we went to Austria for a day to go skiing. They have a Croatia sailing trip in June or May, and then they also have a Slovakia rafting that they go in August. And Rotarians go, and they can invite their family, and of course, exchange students are also welcome. Okay, so this are my pictures. So this is the Fröchnapot I'm working, and I'm helping serve the drinks in the top left. And this is us, the exchange students in Austria on the top right. This is the Rotary Ball. This is our Rotary program. And this is me with the Brazilian exchange student who were dancing. Which is funny because it's a ball, but no one dances. So Rotary Youth Exchange is pretty exciting in Hungary because there are a lot of trips that we do. In October we go to Venice, and we have the Vienna Christmas market where my club actually invites all the exchange students to come, and we provide a hostel and food and everything, and we get a bus and we bring them to the Vienna Christmas market because it's so close to where we live. And there's a Solnak ball where Rotary Solnak invites the exchange students for Carnival Ball. Then there's a Poland trip in April, and there's a Hungarian competition in RYE, and there's a district conference in December, in June. So it's a lot of exchange meets, and the Rotary, of course, provides everything for us, and it's a really good program that we have in Hungary. And so when we went to Poland, the top left, this is when we went to the salt mines. This is on the top right when we went to Venice. On the far right, this is me and my friends when we went to the Vienna Christmas market. And this is the Hungarian language competition. These are the top. We had, for first and second and third place, we had 2 winners for each. And so I won 3rd place. And this is us at the district conference, but this is before we all started crying. And so when I was Rotary exchange student in Hungary, I was really appreciative of what the opportunity that I had, and so I wanted to reflect a little bit on what Rotary has. Rotary's 4-way test, and is it the truth? I always thought about, is what I'm telling my students, not my students, my classmates in class, about what I'm providing, the information about Washington or the American culture, is it true, or is it just a stereotype, or is it just my personal opinion? Is it fair to all concerned? I thought about this a lot because you are always involved with the exchange students, and I always thought about, are the exchange students really benefiting Rotary? Are they really representing their Rotary club back home well, or their country? Because I thought about this a lot. We had an exchange student in our city, and I always thought about, is this really fair to Rotary because they're providing so much for her, but she really wasn't treating her family very well. She was never there, and is it really fair for the family to host her if she's not there anyways, even though they're still responsible? And really build goodwill and better friendships. I thought about this a lot because whenever I went to a different culture, when I traveled, or when I went to a different club to visit, or when I was visiting friends, or any event, I always thought, oh, I can make new friends, I can broaden my horizons and meet new people from different cultures, and will it be beneficial to all concerned? I thought about this also a lot because I was thinking, will this really benefit for other people or not? Szóval, köszönöm szépen mindennek. Komolyan ez a legjobb évet életemben. I will thank you so much for everything. Really, this was the best year of my life.